everyone, Jessie by Builds here, and in today's video we are going to be starting a new series. So I'm going to be doing a 6-part series, and each video is going to be me building a townhouse on a single lot. So there'll be 6 townhouses in total, and each townhouse is going to be for a different occult in The Sims. So the 6 occults that I've chosen to build houses for are vampires, werewolves, mermaids, aliens, spellcasters, and finally fairies as well, because we've recently had the new Enchanted by Nature pack, so I'm looking forward to building that one. But the first one that we're going to do today is vampires. So we'll jump straight in and I'll show you the shell that I've created and the lot that we're going to be building on. So I've chosen to build in Twin Oracle Point in Newcrest, and I've just created an empty shell for the first townhouse. So this is going to be the vampire house. And as you can see, I've sort of added a few details, added some wall trims, things like that. So we're just going to colour it in. I'm going to go for like a gothic style. So we'll go for the brick walls, we'll put some dark stairs in here, change all the swatches on the Space Game windows to black as well. And then again, I'm just going to change everything into black. So we'll add a nice dark roof and then a dark roof trim as well over here. And then moving on to the front, I'm just going to add some dark wallpaper behind the stairs so it's cohesive. And then we'll change the fences to dark iron fence and these dark iron railings here on the stairs, and then we'll pop some black fencing in here around the garden. And now, just to break it up with a bit of colour, I'm going to add some window boxes to all of the windows around the house, and I'm just going to alternate these ones a little bit so it's not exactly the same, because obviously this is just a flat wall full of windows. So I'm going to put some red ones as well in here just to add a little bit of colour to it. And then to break up this wall even more, I am going to add some vines. It's just not a flat wall then, it kind of adds a bit of texture to it. Because this is obviously the last house, we need something on the side. And then I'm just going to do the same along this side here. I'm also going to do a little bit more on the front as well, just to, you know, make the most of the vines that come with vampires, because this is a vampire house after all. And then the style that I'm going for is like very gothic, very dark and mysterious, and you'll see that as we go inside as well. And then I'm just going to add some greenery out the front in these little planters that I've created. Just put these bushes out the front, just to add a little bit of colour. Here we go, a bit of grass as well. And then we'll just pop some window boxes up here, or some hanging plants up here as well. And then moving inside, so this is the entryway. So I'm just having to play around here with the walls and the stairs and things like that, trying to decide on the colour scheme. But I think that I'm definitely going to go for a darker scheme. So we'll put some more iron railings here and change the stairs to black again so they match out the front. And then I'm going to go for like a really nice red, like fancy wallpaper and colour scheme in here. So we'll pop a chandelier, and we'll go for a life and death floor, I think this is. And then some curtains above the windows. Obviously every window is going to have a curtain on in this build because the vampires don't like sunlight. So I'm just going to mix and match a couple here because these windows are different to the rest of them. Just slot that back into place. And then for furniture, I'm going to start by putting a coat rack in here. So this is all just going to be like entryway furniture. And then another coat rack on the other side here. And then I'm going to do like, sometimes in like fancy mansions and stuff, you have like a table as you walk in with a big bunch of flowers on. So I'm going to go for that. And then we'll pop some chairs in the corner over here, just a little seating area in the entryway. I really like these ones from Love Struck, and another one of these tables as well that is from For Rent, I think, but I think it suits the vibe. And then we'll pop this bowl on here. I feel like it looks like it's got blood in it, so that definitely suits. And then some lighting around the walls. We'll go for some of these with the candles. Pop another one up here. And then we'll go for this rug here from Life and Death in the brown, because I think that matches the curtains that we've got. And then pop a statue in here. It's random, but it definitely suits the room. And of course, we've got to have Vlad's organ in there. And then we'll pop a little rug here from Get Famous and decorate the walls a little bit with some of these vampire portraits. And we'll pop the roses on this side, and then we'll go for this here. And then moving on to the living room, so I'm going to put some more curtains in, and then this massive fireplace from Life and Death, but I think I'm gonna change my mind on that one because I want to put a TV in there. So just to sort of make it look a bit more fancy, I'm gonna put these curtains up on the wall behind, and then one of these from Life and Death, a big ficus. So I'm going to use this coffee table and then the vampire's love seat here, and then another chair from Vampires in the corner here. It's like a throne. I love this chair. But then I don't know what other build I would use it in, so it's perfect to use it in this one. And then we'll put a little ottoman here just for some extra seating. And then we will go for this green rug as well. We'll put the tea set on there and build a bookshelf at the back. So I'm going to go for these ones and stick them together and change the swatches on those. Get rid of the lighting, put a chandelier here, and then I'm going to use this base game candelabra here, and then we'll pop this on the wall. I feel like it looks like fangs because it's like pointed. I don't know if anyone else sees that, but and then another one of these tables because it then suits with the theme. And I really like this little, I think it's Horse Ranch music box thing there as well. And then we'll pop in another plant, and I think that's it for our living area. And then through to the kitchen, we'll carry on the curtains here. We'll use this Get Famous tile on the floor, and then I'm just going to eye drop bricks from outside and sort of use that for the kitchen. I think this really suits. I actually really love this build. And then we'll use the Life and Death cabinets here, and then just sort of deciding on the layout as well of where I want things. We'll go for the matching Life and Death cabinets on top, but change them to full tiles and half tiles just to sort of break up the shape a little bit. And we'll pop this one here with another half tile on top just to again break that up a little bit. And then I'm going to pop a fridge in here with another half tile on top just so there's not a big gap. We've got the matching stove and stovetop here from Life and Death. And then I'm just going to bring this over again because I need to add a sink as well. So I'm just going to go for this black and gold base game sink because I think that matches really well. And then we'll go for the gold appliances just so, again, it's just all black and gold. And then for decorations, I'm going to pop a plant up here, some of these gold roses from Life and Death. We'll slot a bin over here by the door. And then we'll add a barrel here for the nectar and a dining table, again in the black and gold, just to keep with the theme of the kitchen. Now I didn't add a dining room because I wanted to have like a separate living room, so I thought just a dining table in here because vampires don't really eat anyway, but if they have guests, there's somewhere for the guests to sit. And yeah, we'll just pop a bit of clutter on the walls there, and then these old pictures, I feel like there's a story behind these, like the vampires have lived in all these houses or, you know, something like that. And then we'll just pop these on the wall as well, and that's our downstairs after I've added some more lights here on the walls. There we go, there is our vampire kitchen. So I've already eye dropped the wallpaper from downstairs here just so it's the same because obviously it's got quite an open space. I'm going to get rid of these walls and add some railings to open it up even more, make it feel a bit more grand. And then I am going to use these base game doors, and we'll move this portrait of Vlad into the middle. He's obviously like the king of the vampires, so we have to have something there to honor him. And then we'll use these from, I can't remember what pack they're from, but we'll use those curtains there over the doors. And then we'll use this runner here, which you kind of have to assemble like a jigsaw. And then the same chairs as downstairs, just in the red. And then again, another candle chandelier as well. And now moving on to the first bedroom, which is going to be a little bit different, but this is obviously going to be like the coffin room. So we're going for like a black and purple theme in here. I'm going to use these lovely vampire curtains, but swap them out for the floor to ceiling ones just because they look a bit more grand. And then I've built a platform here and popped some coffins on top. So I'm just going to choose a platform trim for these. We'll go for the boxy one there. And then I'm going to use these tiles from the Courtyard Oasis kit, I think. I love them. It's like, again, it's like a jigsaw. You have to find the right swatches and kind of move them around so you can sort of paint your own floor and design it. And then I'm going to change the coffins over to these and pop some stairs in here as you enter. Just got sidetracked here. I'm going to add these candles into the hallway and these purple lights here from Vampires as well because it suits the colour scheme. Another one of these love seats, and then some more candelabras just to sort of separate the space a little bit, I guess. And then we're going to add a mirror over here, so that's like a dressing table with some clutter on there. And then we're just going to pop loads of pictures on the wall here. I've also added a couple of cobwebs just to make it look a bit more spooky, but this is like the the vampire coffin room. And then we are going to do a actual bedroom as well, just so you know there is also the option to sleep if you want to. And we'll pop a purple rug in here, and I think that's everything for the coffin room. I think it looks very cool. We'll add this on the back as well, just to fill that space. So moving on to the next bedroom. So I'm going to change up the colour scheme here a little bit and go for a more neutral colour scheme. So we're going to go for like this yellow and blue sort of style, but we'll keep the same floor for the rest of the house. And then I will use the same curtains here. Now I know the bed's in front of the window, but I'm not mad at it. I don't think it looks that bad, especially now I've changed the colour of the curtains. It kind of just sort of adds to it. Again, makes it look a bit more grand. So I'm going to use these stools and use the 9 key to raise up a clock and a plant on them because I couldn't find a small enough side table. But I think the stools still look great and do the job. And it might end up as extra seating for the Sims. And then we'll use the vampire furniture in here. We've got the wardrobe, we've got the mirror. And then again, I'm just going to use these candle chandeliers. We'll put 2 in there because it's an L-shaped room. And we'll pop this chair in from Vampires as well. And then I think I'm going to add a crib in here also, just to enhance the gameplay a little bit, I guess. And then we'll use again this rug from Vampires. Pop some tapestries on the wall in a similar swatch to this colour scheme that we've got going on in here. And then over the other side here, I'm going to use this as like almost like a dresser, or this is like a guest room, I guess. So we'll put a phone on there, and then I'll move it over because I really want to add the shades in here as well, just because I really want to use it in this build and I wasn't sure where to put it. So we'll just move that one over there, and then we'll add a coat rack here and a shoe rack also, just to fill the space, I guess. But if it's a guest room, you know, there's somewhere that the guests can hang their stuff and they don't want to leave it downstairs. And that's the bedroom. So for the bathroom, again, we're going to use the Vampires furniture, and I'm going to go for a white and gold colour scheme in here, just so the whole house isn't completely black and red. Although I feel like this house kind of reminds me of the Goth mansion. Let's say we were inspired by that. And then we'll put a sink over here by the window, and then pop toothbrush on there because they've got to keep the bangs clean, of course. And then we'll just throw a vampire mirror in behind the door because they don't really need to use a mirror, but it's in there anyway for functionality. Pop some roses here from base game, and then we'll go for this Get Famous wallpaper, which is really extravagant, but I feel like it just suits the build. We'll put this Life and Death rug under there because it goes with the colours, and then another one of these on the wall. I'll just move that forward as well. But that's the upstairs complete. So I think now it's time for a tour. This is our finished vampire townhouse. I love all the detailing and like the ivy on the side and things like that. I think it looks really good, and the dark colour scheme. I wish we could paint the underside of roofs. I feel like that would just make a build 10 times better. But we come in here to the really grand entryway. It definitely looks like vampires live here. I really love this theme. It's like gothic, it's dark, it's mysterious. And then we'll come into the green living room here. Obviously there had to be a green room because that's my favourite colour. But I think it's just the right size and definitely dark and mysterious. And then over here to the kitchen. I absolutely love this kitchen. I don't know why, I just feel like the colours just work really well together. So that is the vampire kitchen, and then up to the landing here, or the upstairs hallway, we've got all the artwork on the walls, and the first bedroom or the coffin room, again really dark and mysterious, loads of candlelight, some cobwebs on the walls. And then we'll come over here to the guest bedroom, lovely colour scheme in here. And then finally we've got the grand bathroom. There's not really that much going on in here, but you know, it's functional and it suits the rest of the build. That was the vampire townhouse. I have a few ideas maybe for the next occults that I want to do, but if anyone has any ideas or anything they want to see next for the townhouse, just leave a comment down below and then I can try and recreate that one. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Jessie Bear Builds, because that would mean a lot to me as a new channel and I really appreciate the support. I have been Jessie Bear Builds and I will see you in part 2.